All right, Joe. Welcome to another beautiful Saturday. I can't get enough of the weekend. I just want to welcome you to another sports show here on Afia TV, the Afia Preview Sports, and your host for today, Emeka Madekwe. The priest of football as always, and I'm going to be joined here by my lovely brother Zik. Blessed Zik, welcome back. It's been such a long time you've not been here.
Pleasure.
Let's get straight down to the headlines for today. And NPFL match week 10. It had these ups and downs, so many things, but it's the draw between Enugu Rangers and Kwara United that is our focus for today. Cathedral had a new draw. Moving on to other headlines, we had the Clásico. Many will have enjoyed it. Many neutrals will have said it didn't go as well as they wanted it, but it was 2-1 to Real Madrid. Kudos to Real Madrid for winning their first Clásico of the season. Barcelona good luck next time. Then the last headline for today, we're going to be talking about the Grand Prix in Mexico City. So let's start off with our first discussion for today, Zik. Game week 10, it's 10 games down. Still about 28 more to go in the NPFL season. Enugu Rangers 12th on the table. It's kind of, there is no cohesion with the team. They have good fixtures this week. Next week, it's a draw. Next week is a defeat. How is it shaping out for you? What's Fidelis and his boys doing wrong at the moment?
Well, pleasure again to be here. The players, I think, they don't seem to understand the coach's methodology and the way he wants to play, I guess. They don't seem to be a lot of balance. I think the team doesn't... The most important thing is that they don't understand what the coach wants from them. You know, it's like, you see the way they started the season. They started the season poorly. I don't want us to start blaming the infrastructure, the funding by government or the owners or whatever. Because I think the government is actually doing their part through the sports ministry and the commissioner for sports. But I think the players themselves, they need to look at themselves very, very well. A lot of the players in this squad are still champions from 2 seasons ago. So
yes,
I don't think that they have found their mojo right now. So let's be honest.
It seems like when you look at the NPFL, once a team wins the NPFL season, the next season or a couple of seasons after, they fall off the pace, not just by a little margin, but by far. We've seen it with Aimba in the past. We've seen it with Remo Stars, given that they won it 2 seasons ago, last season and now this season again. And we're even looking at the current defending champions, Remo Stars, because right now they are far off from where they were last season. And they've been in and out of continental action and that, but it's still no excuse. If you're a defending champion, you do your best to get yourself where you need to be.
I think, it also kudos and testament to the quality and the difficulty about the Nigerian Professional Football League. It shows you that, and also remember, it's not even about only the Nigerian Professional League, it's about every champion in every league. Once you are the top, it's very, very difficult to, get that willingness, that vibe, that intensity back again amongst the players, even amongst the coaching staff to go again. Because it's just like going towards a mountain. Once you reach that top, you have to go back down because every season starts with everybody on zero. So to go back up there, it takes a different breed of quality team, different breed of players, different breed of manager to motivate the boys to go again. That's why you see coaches like Mourinho, Guardiola that have gone back to back or back to back to back. You have to respect that, because to win something is easy. Is to maintain it, to keep that consistency. I think right now it's not only Rangers' fault, it's not only Remo Stars. Also remember, they are now playing in continental competitions, whether it's the Confederations Cup or the Champions League, and all those extra traveling that was not there the season prior.
Yes,
also has to count for something.
I mean, yeah, we can give you excuses for the continental cups and all that, but I mean, if you, now talking from the Remo Stars perspective, if you win the Premiership, there should be some levels of high intensity back to retaining your title. You don't just win the title, pop the champagnes at the end of the season, then you let go of the intensity and the focus.
That's what I'm saying. It's difficult. It's very difficult to go back to where you were. That, like, it's just like life. Like you make money, or it's difficult to maintain it. To make it, it's not like it's easy, but it's the maintaining of that standard is very, very difficult. It takes a special type of human being. It takes a special type of team, players, coach, and the club. Everybody has to be geared on one target. You know, when Remo Stars were fighting for that league, they had not won it before.
Yes.
You know, so they were near misses, either second, third, or something. I can't quite place all their other positions, but finally getting over that hurdle.
Those are some of the results.
Yeah.
That's the results from last weekend. On Friday's action saw Castina United beating El Canameros Warriors by 1 goal. At Kano, we had Kano Pillars losing at home to Niger Tornadoes. Warri Wolves doing the job at home against Bayelsa United. Rangers sharing the spoils there with Kwara United. Abia Warriors still on form, still hitting hot, 2-0 against Barrow FC. Wiki Torres winning 2-0 at home as well against 3SC. Plateau United beating Eimba 2-1 at home. Kun Khalifat showing the spirits there with Bender Insurance 1-0. And Rivers United are still yet to play Ikorodu City on Wednesday, the 5th of November. So I know it's pretty early to call, but currently, right now, at the very summit, Nassau United, they seem like they're the most informed team in the league right now. As the table is coming up shortly, is this just early days, or are they actually gonna win? Do you see them doing the job all the way to win it, or maybe Abia Warriors coming into the mix and giving them, because it's very tight right there on the top. Nassau United in first place with 19 points. Abia Warriors chasing them red hot with 18 points. Niger Tornadoes with 17. And Warri Wolves on 17 as well. So it's really heated at the top there. Shooting Stars with 5th place with 15. Castina United in 6th place with 15 as well. Ikorodu Boys 14 points in 7th. 8th place Nnamdi Warriors with 14 points as well. Eimba 9th place with 13 points. Kwara United, who drew with Rangers in 10th place, 13 points. Rivers United 12 points. And Rangers 12 points in 12th place. Wiki Torres 13th place with 12 points. Kun Khalifa 12 points as well in 14th. Plateau United in 15th place with 12 points. Bayelsa United 11 points. Remo Stars, the defending champions, very, very poor because they're in the relegation zone. They start the relegation
but also remember, in the table now, there are some teams that have full complement of games on 10, some people on 9. You see,
Remo Stars on 7.
They're on 7, so they still have like 3 more games to catch up. People I'm actually interested in is Rivers United. They're on 7 games and they already have 12 points. So they have like 3 games. Same with,
and they're still in the CAF Champions League.
So I'm actually impressed with them because it shows that they've been
able to strike a balance between the CAF Champions League and the Premiership.
So for me, Nasarawa United is good. Staying at the top after 9 games or 10 games, whatever it may be, it's okay. But it doesn't mean that it's the end of the race. You know, it's just like even like right now in the Premier League, we know we are going to go and talk about like Sunderland. You only beat what is in front of you. And you can only get as many points as possible. You know, people will say, well, we have our standing matches, but they have the points on the table already. So kudos to them. You just have to continue on it because it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Well, still on the Metro, we have to go to the next topic. And it looked like all hope was lost for our ladies. And I'm talking about under 17, the Flamingos. But comment the day, comment the hour, comment the results. A 4-0 defeat for China and a 4-0 win for the Flamingos saved the day. And now the girls are into their last 16. Lucky or just Miano being bad on the day? I want to get your thoughts on those fixture there.
A little bit of luck wouldn't hurt. You know, luck is always part of life, whether good or bad luck. So you only make do with what you can do. And for them to still be in the competition should be a source of pride for the girls. I don't like our teams, both our male and female teams, always depending on, calculator, help from people. I think we need to cut that out. You know, look at our own responsibility. Look at our own
job. And
do your own job. And whatever happens, you have already handled your part. But kudos, like I say, to them, they are still in the competition. And there's a hope or there's an opportunity for the trophy for them. And why not? They need to believe in themselves. They need to also recover from their last game and listen to the coach's tactics and what he has in plan for the opponent. And who knows, believe anything can still happen for them. They can still win the tournament. Remember, Ivory Coast, we are third in the AFCON. I always use them as an example.
I mean, you never know your fate.
They were dead and buried.
Yeah.
But
finish as one of the best third teams.
And they went on and won the tournament. And see the way they have qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah, in high fashion as well.
You know, something elite, something leads to something, and it's just a gradual step. So for our girls to still be in the competition, kudos to them.
Well, I mean, you've seen it in African football when, like, Morocco winning the under-17 for the boys.
Yeah.
You've seen where the senior team reached in last World Cup 2022. They reached the semis. It seems like African football is on the rise, but it gets to a point where you see some teams have some trajectory to the top, while some are taking a decline.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Super Eagles and the ladies on the other counterparts are just floating on the halfway line.
We're maintaining equilibrium.
Well, I mean, good luck to them. They're in the round of 16, and their opponents will be tough, but we trust and hope that the ladies that were able to get themselves into this last 16 can do the job and get themselves into the last 8 as well.
You know, the knockout is anybody's game. That's why I said they need to recover based on their preparation after the game. How do you recover? Do you sleep well? Do you whatever it is that they use to get the girls back down to earth, the training sessions, stuff like that. Yeah. Because in tournament is 30 days, 1 month.
Yes.
A lot of action is being jam-packed inside that 4 weeks. So, and most of these girls, these are under-17 tournament. This is their first taste of this kind of global showpiece. So they need to be a little bit of, look at the girls there. They need to be a little bit of understanding from the coaching staff of what needs to be done. These girls are still young. Their careers are still in front of them. So you need to encourage them, but also strike the balance whereby they need to know that this is serious. Because anything that you do here can also help you to become a professional footballer.
I mean, good luck to the ladies there, the under-17, the Flamingos, and we do hope that they can do the job once they reach the final 16 and hopefully get into the last 8 and beyond that.
Yeah.
Heading back to the defending champions, it's on a very not so pleasant note, but they've been knocked out of the CAF Champions League, and I'm talking about Remo Stars. Lost 5-1 at home in Abeokuta to Mamelodi Sundowns and took the trip all the way to South Africa to get trashed 2-0 with an aggregate scoreline of 7-1. And when it comes to the CAF Champions League, we've seen Nigerian teams in particular struggle to face off with some of these other teams like the likes of Wydad and Zamalek and the rest, and all the big boys in Africa. But this was humbling, won't you say, from the defending champions for that matter. Not even Rivers United, who were able to overturn their deficits and qualify for the group stages. I want to get your thoughts on how was it that Mamelodi Sundowns were just too good, or where most of us were extremely poor?
I think you can. It's a mixture of both. The Mamelodi Sundowns players were actually very good, but also our team were quite naive. They acted like inexperienced bunch of schoolboys, you know, with the way they were played. I think also the coach, I think he got his tactics quite wrong. I believe that he should have. They tried to be expansive and open to try and play the beautiful game against their counterparts, which is understandable at home. Yes. But I think this is the first, or I don't know the exact amount of times they have been in the continental showpiece. So they wanted to show themselves for their fans. I understand that. But sometimes you have to be cute in the head and know what needs to be done. There's no point coming out to play open, expansive football to entertain your opponent, your fans, and you get destroyed 5-1 at home. It doesn't make any sense. I think they could have been defensive, you know, try and play on the counter attack, try and go for the transition. They have fast players in their attacking lineup, and try and defend. Because I see Sundowns, I've seen some of their games in the PSL, against Kaizer Chiefs. whereby teams defend deep and limit the space whereby all those Mamelodi Sundowns players, this is Peter Shalulide,
Yes.
all those players that they have that play in between the lines, that are very, very dangerous, that also play for their South African national
Yeah, I
team.
was going to mention that we have about 6 players from Mamelodi Sundowns who represent the SAFA.
Yeah.
And it looks like some of these boys that have represented the South African national team have carried that confidence from qualifying from the World Cup into this match. And you saw the hunger, the drive, and the determination to win the Nigerian counterparts. Most especially knowing that it was Nigeria and South Africa that went head-to-head for the group. So it could have been an extra source of motivation to actually discharge.
Of course, you can never discount all those kind of things between Nigeria and South Africa in any competitive field you might look at it. For me, the players have to look at themselves. I know it's very disappointing, heartbreaking per se, losing by that kind of amount of goals. But I also look at it as a learning experience. You know, they can channel it into their league form and get themselves out of the relegation spot. We saw where they are. I think that for me, the South Africans were already well organized. They're already well prepared. You remember these Mamelodi Sundowns have been going for semi-finals, finals of this CAF Champions League. So that's why it still comes back to that naivety, that youthful experience. Like it's as if we are playing football amongst ourselves on the streets here in Enugu or in Nigeria. So I didn't expect that from them. I expected them to be a little bit savvy. With the way the North Africans come, we called Wydad, Esperance. If they come to Nigeria, they come and play defensive. They know they are better than us normally. But once they come, they want to play defensive. But I also understand that they wanted to play expansive because they were at home. But I feel the better judgment or the better thing to have done, you know, we are saying with hindsight because we have already seen what happened. But I think looking at the quality of players Mamelodi Sundowns have, I don't want to start talking about the infrastructure, the investments that South African football has due to being in a better country or whatever. I don't want to bring that out. I want to talk about what happened on the pitch. I think with the way that we are so open. They were so open. If you look at the highlight,
the defense was porous.
There
was
so
a highline that was being overexploited there.
They were so open.
The defensive structure had collapsed at the very first 15 minutes of the game, really, because that's when it began to open up for Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah.
And it seemed like after that first goal, Remo Stars couldn't just recover. Because from there, the game became more open for the South Africans there to play the football they know how to play with ease, play with a lot of energy and conserve the ball.
That's why I say that I still reiterate the fact that we should have the coaching staff of Remo Stars. You know, they are an attacking team. They won the league by being expansive, by being the best team in Nigeria. But I think just for that one game or for these two games, based on this tie, they could have changed their approach. It happens. You see coaches even in Europe.
Yeah, that's another thing
they change their approach.
To you now. Just before we go on a break now, we've seen it even in Europe. Managers gamble a lot on tactics, what to change and what not to change, what system to set up with and what system not to. Sticking to a system that it seems like it's failing you. You're down halftime maybe by 2 or 3 goals. You still refuse to change up the setup and you remove some crucial players that are at least holding up that setup in place and replace them with people who can actually play in those positions very well. Then it seems like the whole system collapses at the end of the day. Then the manager allocates blame to players as if the manager doesn't want to cover his players. I want to ask now, this gambling that we see in modern day football from both Europe and in Africa here, do you think it's favorable for the managers to gamble anyhow, or they should read the game better? Because it seems like most gaffers don't really read these games anymore. They base it off on what they feel. It's more of an emotional change.
But what is gambling? Gambling is also based on your feelings.
It's based on your feelings, but there's also logic to gambling as well.
True. But I think you only also remember football is about 90 minutes.
Yes.
So that's divided into 45. But you only have this opportunity in this 90 minutes. So whatever he's thinking, you don't have a lot of time to, to articulate what you already see on the pitch, to now think about it and say, okay, this person is not having a good game, but this person is having a good game. But if I remove this person, it might motivate. You understand what? All these things, it has to do with human understanding, human relationships. That's why it takes a very, very different kind of person to be a manager. Because you don't only have to deal with the tactics, you also have to deal with the relationship with your players. So for me, it's not bad gambling, because sometimes you see coaches bringing a super sub and all of a sudden, boom, he scores a winning goal, he scores an equalizer that starts a comeback. So I'm not angry with gambling or throwing the dice or rolling the dice or expecting, but you need to know the abilities of your players. You need to be inside the head of your players to understand that if I do this with this player, he will give me this result. Yes. If I do, just doing multiple substitution because you feel this, it doesn't work out like that. You need to have an understanding, and you have to be calm under pressure.
All right. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's the gaffer who knows best. He's the one who is reading the game. He's the one who knows the abilities of these players. He's the one who draws up the first 11. So he knows the ability of each player. He knows those who are left on the bench. Some good players might be left on the bench because of the game-changing abilities, like you mentioned. But we'll talk more about that after this short break. Stay tuned to more on Afia Sports Show, the Afia Preview Sports. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Alright, you're welcome back to the Afia Sports Show, the Afia Preview Sports. I'm your Crystal Football Maker, aka Femelo, and I'm still here with Blessed Zik. Thank you for joining us today. And it's time to jump straight into DPL. Match week 9, a lot of drama, a lot of chaos, as one would say, going around. Everyone's waiting for the league to reset itself back to normal as we used to know it and love it. But currently, it will shock you that there are 6 teams in the top 6 that nobody will have predicted, apart from maybe Arsenal and Man City. And I'm talking about Arsenal being first, Bournemouth being second. Currently, Tottenham 3rd, Sunderland 4th, Man City 5th, and Manchester United 6th. That's how crazy match week 9 has gone down. And some of the results, it began with Leeds United beating West Ham at home 2-1. Then the crazy saga at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea taking the lead there through Garnacho. Then Wilson Isodor equalizing before Talib scoring the 90+4 goal to see off Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Then came the shockers of Manchester United beating Brentford 4-2 at Old Trafford. Bournemouth doing the job over Nottingham Forest 2-0. You had the crazy saga with Man City losing at Villa Park 1-0. The crucial, controversial decision against Haaland. And Liverpool losing 3-2 away Brentford. Then it all ended with Tottenham winning away from home 3-0 against Everton. Give me a rundown of how you viewed this match week.
Why would you say Liverpool was controversial to losing against Brentford?
No, not Liverpool controversial. I meant the Man City game. The goal Haaland scored there that was reversed by VAR.
It was offside now.
Yeah, some were saying that the lines were drawn and the last man.
Offside is offside. It's either you are on or off.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're off, you're off. But I mean, some will still have their opinions that it was pretty close to be called as an offside there.
That's the opinion, though. But we have had a very, very bumper weekend of Premier League football. As always, Premier League is just a league that always throws up surprises, shocks. You just named the top 6, Bournemouth, Sunderland, being there. Yeah. Sunderland from relegation, 8 years away. And all of a sudden they are riding high.
Top 6 right there.
It's amazing though. You can say Manchester City should be there. United, of course, they have just become all of a sudden
a new wave of life.
Yeah. I think them winning against Brighton, you said it's a shocker. Yes, it sounds. I don't know whether it's a joke or whatever.
Back-to-back wins for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, apart from that, Brighton has always had the number over United.
Yes.
In 7 games, I think they have won 6. and United have won one, which is actually, if you try to think about it, it's incredible to just imagine that United, of all people, one of the greatest teams in England, have not won more than 2 times against Brighton. But it tells you what Brighton have been doing to them since Brighton came to the Premier League. So for United to actually follow up the win against Liverpool at Anfield.
It's been a long time since Man United have won 3 consecutive games. Wow. And a lot of people will have been saying, okay, yes, we understand why Ratcliffe decided to stick with the man-woman Aberrin, and it's starting to pay off for them there at Old Trafford. There's this new life at the Old Trafford. Yeah. They seem to be, they have found their mojo back. They seem to have found the love and the trust in the manager, unlike the end of last season and beginning of the season.
I don't think I like that Jim Ratcliffe actually came out prior to during the international break that preceded the Liverpool game, that now gave everybody the confidence, because they just won against Sunderland 2-0, and everybody was like, why are you talking like this? Why are you making such senseless comments? But now, in hindsight,
you've played Liverpool, you've played Brighton, and back-to-back wins,
and it shows that it was good for him to back him in public.
Yeah,
to breed that confidence into the squad. You said something earlier. I don't know whether it was during the show or earlier on, that you said it has made the players to now realize that we have to work hard for this guy. That this guy is not going anywhere, and whether or not they were going to give him the 3 years, we don't know. But for United fans, winning 3 games at last, and also for the guy that hasn't cut his hair.
The whole joke around the guy was saying he's waiting for Man United to win 5 straight games.
He said,
so it's 2 games away. I mean, who knows?
No, he still has to wait for the 6th game. But that's one aside. Good for them.
Yeah.
Sunderland, again, amazing. Taubi scoring a 90-something minute winner at Stamford Bridge, the home of the Club World Cup champions. It tells you what they are doing at Sunderland, at Stadium of Light. Xhaka, the midfield general, somebody like Nnamdi Azikiwe, Brian Bobby that they bought
from Ajax.
From Ajax. I was shocked that they bought him, but it shows you that their recruitment is good. They got good players. It's not just splashing players.
Really splashed the cash.
Yeah, it's not just about splashing. They splash the cash at the right places, giving the coach the right tools to do what they are doing right now. And I still think that they can still shock more and more teams.
So I want to ask this. Okay. Which was the biggest shocker of the weekend? Was it the Chelsea game? Was it the Liverpool? Was it Man City?
Of course, the shocker of the weekend was Chelsea game. Losing to a newly promoted team at home. It should be Chelsea. Manchester City losing to Aston Villa. Aston Villa was in the Champions League last season. It shouldn't be a shocker. And Manchester City have not won against Aston Villa at Villa Park in 2 games. So this is just the 3rd straight win. So we shouldn't have seen that as a big deal. Liverpool have lost 3 straight matches before they lost this 4th one against Brentford. Yeah, they won in the Champions League against Frankfurt. Well, Frankfurt was Frankfurt, and that was in the Champions League. So for me, it was Chelsea, obviously. But this is why we love VPL. It just throws up subplots and storyline. The drama is just incredible.
I mean, the EPL has been having some crazy fixtures from match day 1 down to match day 9. And another game we've not really shown light to was Arsenal Crystal Palace. That was another tough fixture there that was really eye-catching. And Comet the man, he had to just be him. Eberechi is scoring a goal against his former team.
Yeah, his first Premier League
goal. The
exact
same fashion in which he scored against Arsenal last season.
Oh, well, you can say it was written in the stars for him, but the goal was fantastic. You saw how he had to leap in the air because that ball was not yet on the ground. It was a volley.
Yeah, it was
and there was somebody coming. Volley, There was somebody coming to close him down. They knew what he was capable of. They knew him. He was their teammate.
Like I said, going into last season, it was the exact same goal he scored against Arsenal. So Maguire and Lacrosse already knew what was coming.
Yeah.
But it was just unstoppable.
Yeah, and like you said, it was destined for him to be the one to score that goal, to get the 3 points. And for Arsenal...
His first Arsenal Premier League goal.
Yeah, his first Premier League goal. He had already scored in the EFL for Arsenal against Port Vale. But for me, Arsenal are just going about it the right way, chalking up wins. They don't concede goals. 3 goals conceded in 12 games in all competitions, 6 clean sheets in the Premier League.
Volley right there.
Yeah, 6 clean sheets in the Premier League. They are trying to do something that there's already a blueprint.
Yeah.
You know, you have good defense, you have a chance of winning the league. And for me, the main thing Arsenal is doing is just being consistent.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
just
another
getting
thing I
3
wanted
points.
to ask you now. We've seen it with Arsenal in the past 3 seasons.
Okay.
Start of the league, red hot, hitting everyone, catching people out, getting results very early on from the first match. I think it was the first match week 11 from game 1 to 11. Had good run of form from 1 to 11.
Yeah, I don't
Started
think
shaking around
I don't
like
think
12.
they were that good last season based on form.
Okay, so
or anything.
let's go back to 2 years ago.
Maybe 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, I'm taking it step by step. Let's go back 2 years ago. First 11 games, beautiful. 12th game started shaking. By match week 14, 15, it has started crumbling for them. By match week 17, they had gotten themselves back again into the conversation. From there, had some injuries, fell out, finished second. Last season again, the same thing. Now, this season seems like it's a repetition of what happened. They're starting off the league red hot like they did. But can they continue this form? Because this is something that we've seen in Arsenal. It's not starting off wonderfully that is the problem. Can they maintain this run of form? Can they do it down to the wire? Can they do it down to April, down to May?
Nobody is God. Nobody knows. Nobody has a magic wand
Yeah,
to say,
no one has
okay,
that.
this is how it's going to be. But for them, they can only beat what is in front of them.
Yeah.
And so far, so good. They have only lost 1 game. An out of the world strike by Dominic Szoboszlai for Liverpool. And now we have seen how Liverpool have gotten on.
It seems like after that Arsenal game, there's been decline for Liverpool.
4 consecutive defeats in
Premier League,
the Premier League. For me,
One
I
in the
think
Champions League,
for me, I think they are out of the title race. Liverpool. People might say it's too early, but I don't see
Isn't it
Liverpool.
too early? Though it's
For
just
Liverpool,
9 games down.
Any other person can fight Arsenal for the title, but I don't think Liverpool. Yeah, people might say in future maybe they can go back and win consecutive matches, which they can do. They still have world-class players, but I don't think with the amount of goals they are conceding, Arsenal already has that step ahead of them. They don't concede goals.
Only 3 all season.
They don't concede goals. That's the first step for you to win a league. You are conceding a lot of goals. It's going to be difficult for you. You can't score 6-2, 6-3, 4-3. It's going to be difficult. If you can close the back door short and just make 1 goal, you get 3 points. And Arsenal are doing it so far. Talking about April, May, we don't know for how that is going to be.
Yeah, how it's going to pan out to them.
What they have done now is just put themselves in a good position. Injury has been biting them hard. It beat them hard last season. But I think with the way they have strengthened their squad, I think they have enough players.
Replacements to run around the injuries.
Exactly. So I don't think Arsenal fans should be afraid. They should be quietly confident.
One last thought on Arsenal so far. Some will say, and this is some neutral saying, and some just training some battle and here and that. The Arsenal have the least of the injuries so far, which is why it seems like
that's
flourishing
not true.
and all that.
That's not true.
I know that's not true.
Yeah.
It's a 38-game week, out of which you've played 9. You only get the points if you do well, and you only get good results if you're good on the night and not poor. Yeah, take nothing away from Arsenal. They've been superb. They've been world class. I think apart from Bayern, they are the next best informed team in the world right now. But when you look at
over PSG, Bayern and Arsenal over PSG.
Yeah, Bayern and Arsenal over PSG so far. I mean, PSG have lost some games this season.
It doesn't mean it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, but when you're looking at the form guide for both Europe and
I understand what you're trying to say. The form based on all the matches you have played. Both the best team in Europe is still PSG. But let's talk about Arsenal.
Until we play the bigger boys so far, because so far they've had relatively easy fixtures to play in the Champions League. So
Arsenal?
Far. No, PSG.
Okay. Is Barcelona easy fixture?
I said relatively. I didn't say they've had all easy fixtures. Exactly.
Well, for me, Arsenal right now are doing what they need to do. You only win what is in front of you. If it is Crystal Palace 1-0, you take it. If it is Nottingham Forest 3-0, you take it. If it's West Ham 2-0, you take it. The main thing is the next game. How do they recover? How do the players, keep on doing what they are doing so far? Not feel too big,
relaxed,
or relaxed, or feeling like we have arrived. or we have a
I think
comfortable
that's kind of
5
that's
points.
part of the problem with some of the other top 6 teams. Yeah, when you look at Chelsea, you look at Liverpool, they get one result, then the mentality drops a bit. They become too complacent. They
For me,
become
for Chelsea, with the problem with Chelsea is that there's no experience
yeah, some of
inside
the experienced
Chelsea.
players are out on injury. Some of them are going through some
They
personal
don't
mental
have
problems.
enough experienced players. You can who is the experienced player they have that you are trying to talk about? They have quality players.
Maybe Reece James.
Reece James he was playing on the weekend, but it's not about they lack experience. Like people that know what needs to be done at certain like during different variety or variations of the game.
Yeah.
You know that let's say in 60th minute you're winning 1-0, we need to keep the ball. 80th minute we don't need to lose this game.
When you look at that Chelsea side, you have to consider one other factor. Many will say yes, it's not a huge factor in the modern day football, but in the Premier League, they are actually the youngest average team in the Premier League.
It's their fault. Whose fault is that? It's their business model
and all that.
It's their business model, which is now going to bite them in the backside because you are not having this experience needed for the 2 biggest trophies. For me, Chelsea we are never Premier League contenders. I've told you this outside the set, behind the scenes, that they don't have the know-how.
They don't have the experience and the quality.
They don't have they have the quality. They don't have the experience. They don't have the know-how.
So for a team like Chelsea who have quality but no experience, and a young manager as well, like Enzo Maresca, who sometimes gambles, he gets it right, sometimes he gets it wrong. What are you looking at this Chelsea side? What can they do to actually get themselves into that title conversation ahead the likes of City and Liverpool?
They need to remove the inconsistencies from their game. Like I said, the amount of red cards Chelsea have gotten over the past 5 weeks from players to the manager is ridiculous. It's not what a big team should be all about. There should be a level-headed, whether you are winning, you are losing, there should be a balance whereby we don't let this get ahead of us. We don't let this bring us down. That's why experience counts. Just need to sign players with experience at certain places.
So when you say players with experience at certain places, are you referring to the goalkeeping department?
You can say that, you can say that. I think most Chelsea fans will not. They are not yet convinced with their goalkeeper.
Most pundits have come out to say that this Chelsea side is actually exciting and fun to watch on their day, but few mistakes. Because Robert Sanchez has been getting a lot of stick for his game. He can have 1 or 2 good games, then have some moments of craziness, like we've compared to Waba in the past, or how he does with the Super Eagles. He have 1 or 2 good games, then concede some sloppy, careless goals here and there. And I think that's the problem for this Chelsea side, because when you look at the defensive setup, it's young, yes. You have an experience with James in there, with Cucurella as well. That's the experience in the defense. Then you have players who not too experienced,
but you also have to
built up from some experiences as well. Because Chalobah was in the Champions League winning side.
Sorry to cut you short. To interject, you made fantastic points. People like Cucurella, I actually forgot about him. He was in the Spanish team that won the Euros last year. So already he's a winner. He's a successful player. Reece James has won the Champions League. Was Chalobah in the Champions League winning team? I think he was in the Super Cup winning team.
In the Champions League.
I don't know, but all these players, are they talkers? Are they people that like lead by example, or they are just the people that they don't talk? Some people, their characters or their personalities, they are not shouters. They don't give instructions. Others, like Chelsea had leaders, John Terry, Frank Lampard, Drogba. Like they talk, they scream at people that they feel that the standards have gone low. They don't have that again. Petr Cech, it's not only there are people that lead by example, whereby is what they do on the pitch, is how they take care of themselves on outside of the pitch, how they train, because we don't see what happens on the training, we don't see how they recover, but what we see is what happens on the pitch. Reece James is not a talker. Cucurella is not a talker. They can inspire by the way they play the game, by the way they respect the coach, which the other players have to, follow. But they need leaders that, drag the team by the scruff of the neck, whether whether we are playing well or not, we are not going to lose this game. That is what Chelsea needs for them to challenge.
Oh, well, I mean, the EPL has resumed action and it is red hot. We've seen how the top 6 has planned out so far. Arsenal, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Sunderland, Man City, and Manchester United. Man U fans buzzing because it's seeming all gloomy. It's looking all sunny right now for them. Unlike the likes of Chelsea and Man City and Liverpool, who've been going through some terrible results of late. But I mean, kudos to Manchester United, kudos to Amorim for turning around the fortunes. And it seems like he's slowly trying to pay back the faith of Ratcliffe there. And so, okay, yes, the club has given me their faith. They have shown trust in me. I'm going to give it my all to this team. We're going to wipe away last season, start a clean slate, build off good results here, and probably qualify for the Champions League. And who knows, maybe win a trophy or 2 this season. Because, I mean, yeah, they're out of the Carabao Cup, but they still have the FA Cup. They're in the top 6 right now. Who knows? They could still challenge for the Premier League.
Let's hold on. Let's hold on there. Let's not count our chickens yet. But so far, so good for them.
They don't look like potential.
It's not about looking like potential. This is a first year of Amorim. We are just looking at the graphics. They have never had back-to-back wins, and all of a sudden you're talking about title contention. We're not talking about Chelsea. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? We have to be real. But kudos to them. Yeah. Like I said, you only beat what is in front of you. And so far, so good for Manchester United. 3 straight wins. Can they continue it? The game coming up this weekend against Nottingham Forest is going to be even tougher than Brighton if they think Nottingham Forest is going to be easy.
Yeah, because this is a new manager, Sean Dyche, coming into the team.
And it is at home. This is the game that United
defeat against Bournemouth. He'll be looking to get his first win in the Premier League with Nottingham Forest. So it's going to be a tough atmosphere.
They have to be calm. They have to still continue what they are doing. They have to be humble. You have to be humble in everything in this life you are doing, especially for these Manchester United players. It's not because you are winning 3 straight wins. You have to be humble, know where you are coming from, but also know where you're going to and know who you are. Because they are still United, one of the greatest teams in England and in the world. So for me, you have to congratulate them, but know that the work is still ahead. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Sure. And another league that keeps our pulses racing and blood racing, the La Liga. And the biggest action that came out from La Liga was on Sunday, the Clásico.
Yeah.
And I know you have your affiliation, so there with FC Barcelona, you will not be so pleased because Real Madrid came out on top in that fixture there, 2-1 at the Santiago Bernabeu, with Mbappe getting the first goal of the match. Fermin Lopez, who's been on red-hot form, equalizing there, but it was not just enough for Barcelona. Countless of missed chances by Ferran Torres and some other bad decisions right there. Bellingham getting a goal. It was a bit controversial because there was the shout on the foul on Kubrasi leading into this one from Dean Huijsen, but ref waved it off the VAR, so deemed it to be a fair challenge, and yeah, Jude Bellingham getting the winner of the night. I want to just get your thoughts about their Clásico. First, a Clásico down in favor of Real Madrid. 27 points as to 22 for Barcelona.
Yeah, you already know my affiliation. You know what? My love for Barcelona doesn't mean that I won't be objective on this opinion. Sure. Madrid deserved the win. I think not hugely, but I was expecting this because in a way they seem to have grabbed the major facet of Alonso ball, what Alonso wants them to do. That's compact in defense, but also pressure high in the attack. And you see in the game, Vinicius was tracking back, Mbappe was marking the ball. There was a lot less space for Barcelona midfielders to have their passes in. And kudos to them, they played themselves. They played fantastically well. Bellingham 2 goals in 2 games, scored against Juventus in the Champions League, and to score again against Barcelona in their most important game. It was their most important game. For him to score, it goes back to 2 years ago when he first came. They won the 3 Clásicos. He scored in 2 of them. Score winners in the Montjuic and in the Santiago. So for them, it's good for their confidence. It's good for their project. And for Barcelona, it was just a bad day in the office. I don't think they had a lot of possession. They had a lot of entries into the final third, but there seems to be a little bit of the percentages for Barcelona is not as high as it should be. Just a little percentage, like I've explained this to you in football. Like it just takes like -1% from your 100% for you to lose a game. In elite sport, whether it's tennis, it's football, basketball, just below your performance. Just slack off. Say, I'm not going to mark the ball. I'm not going to chase this. I'm not going to put in. You create a shortage or a deficit.
Little lapses.
You create a deficit in different parts of the pitch, and I think that's what is really happening with Barcelona. There's not enough pressure in the forward line. There's injuries. There are departures.
I was going to get into that as well. I mean,
no, it's not an excuse.
No, it's not an excuse.
It shouldn't be an excuse.
Injuries is never an excuse in football. Yeah. But you also look at Barcelona's side. Now, out of that first 11, you're taking 5 crucial players from the first 11 out on injury. We're talking about no Lewandowski, first of all, in the vocal point in attack. There's no Rafinha in the attack. The first choice goalkeeper, as they've claimed this season, Joan Garcia, out. Yeah. You're also looking at Dani Olmo out as well. You're looking at no Gavi in that setup as well. So you see there's some injuries that could have potentially changed the game for Barcelona there. Yes, you never count injuries as part of.
No, you have to count injuries into parts. It's a part and parcel of football.
Yeah, it's part and parcel of football, but it's never an excuse for why you lose.
It's not the reason why they lost. I've just explained why they lost. The little
lapses here.
The little minute differences about elite football, elite sport. You have to give your all. Once you slack, even 10%, even just 1%, the opponent will take advantage of you.
As well, in the game, we saw a little bit of drama at the end of the game.
I think the problem for Barcelona was just intensity. And
they lacked intensity.
They lacked intensity. And also, Flick, he has been getting his lineups. No, it's not even emotional.
No,
you can be emotional.
Flick was out of the game.
Yeah, because of a suspension against Girona, which I like to tell my friends the truth. Spain, there's a lot of political intrigue that goes on there. But for me, his lineups, his lineups for games have been
not been consistent.
They have not been the way they should be. Losing against Paris Saint-Germain in midweek 2-1. I'm going off topic, but bear with me. Losing against Paris Saint-Germain 2-1. Coming to weekend, you still play the same team that played a grueling 90 minutes against Paris Saint-Germain, which, it's an intensity game. Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain are the two proponents of the modern day game, attacking high intensity football. That's what happened last season. You saw it. Barcelona scored 174 goals. Paris Saint-Germain scored 169. Both of them were the most destructive teams in Europe. So you have injuries, like we are just talking about.
Yes.
And you still play those same players that played against Paris Saint-Germain. Okay, you didn't play Lewandowski against PSG, brought him on, but you played him against Sevilla on a hot afternoon. There was no intensity. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. There was opportunity for you to freshen it up. For example, for me, I felt there was no need against Real Madrid to bring in Ferran Torres. Yeah, he's been on mad form, but he was injured. You can continue with
Rashford in the attack there
and play your Firmino with your Lamine, but you can bring in a defensive midfielder like El Casado with Pedri and Frankie. You can't hate Flick. He's a great coach. He's a world-class coach.
Sometimes, back to what I said.
About managers.
Sometimes the gambling works for you.
Sometimes it doesn't work. So for me, it's just one of those games. It's the same with the PSG defeat 2-1. It happens. It's just one of those things. It's not after this game. What next? How do you recover? How do you get back into the groove? What is the message that Flick has to send to the Barcelona players? And for Alonso, kudos to him. This only strengthens his case. It only strengthens his hand with Real Madrid. And it tells the player what Alonso wants us to do is possible. We can succeed with this. We need to always listen and believe in our coach.
Well, I mean, last season it was a different manager. It was Ancelotti, and Flick won all the battles against Ancelotti. He's lost his first battle to Xavi Alonso. Kudos to the manager there. Kudos to all the Real Madrid players. Better luck for Barcelona next time. But we have one more story to talk about just before we run. I'm talking about the Mexican Grand Prix. Exciting records being broken. I think the latest winning speed recorded was 30.3 seconds. And that's it. That's the highest for this season in the Grand Prix. Yeah, that's the man right there, Lando Norris. He's clinched top spots right now, and he's the man of the hour. He's the top gun right now. I just want to get your thoughts about this young man and his brilliant performances in the Grand Prix so far.
He's not the top gun, but he won.
I mean, at the moment,
race.
he's the top gun at the moment for winning this particular race.
Particular race, yes. But it also came with the backdrop of the issues between him and his teammate, Oscar Piastri. They have been having this niggly backdrop at the back whereby Oscar feels that Lando is, infringing upon him while they're on either practice or in the main race. I think it has also. I enjoy such drama. It is what we fans
enjoy. We live off the drama.
I don't know whether it also affects their performance because you feel that this person is not giving me, or it's not like he has to give you space to do your thing, but
you feel like there's no cohesion or no.
Yeah, there's no cohesion or unity in the team because they are both teammates. But there's a niggly feeling there. But for him to win the Mexico Grand Prix and to be, I think, 1 point ahead or over Oscar, and to put himself in a very, very good position is very, very good. For me, they need to also be aware because Max Verstappen is not yet down. He's still there. He's still there. And there's still going to be 4 races before the end of the season. So, but good kudos to Lando. He's a fantastic driver. I'm still worried about Lewis. Ever since he left Mercedes, he hasn't gotten into the rhythm with Ferrari.
Yeah.
I wish him well. I hope he gets back to the level we know he is used to.
Yeah, he's one of the top quality drivers out there, and we do hope he can get back to where we know he is at, the level he performs at, and the level we love to see him perform and give us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. This one discussing all that is nitty gritty in sports and all. Thank you to the MCR. Thank you to all the Flow production team. Thank you so much. And your priest of football, Emeka Madoka, aka Femelo, saying goodbye. Stay tuned for more action on Thursday when we stick with the Battle Box. Goodbye.